Have you thought about doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger month? Because his birthday's July 30th, and what better month for action movies than
That's true,
July?
yeah. It's tough. We already did Terminator for James Cameron month.
Right.
But we haven't done T2 because we were able to do this episode.
Right. Thank God.
But yeah, I mean, I still want to do Jingle All the Way. It might not make a ton of sense in July. But
Well,
you
could
have
do
Total Recall. And
yeah, that's true. Switch it up. Do Christmas in July.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
We did Halloween in June last year. I don't know if we can do another gimmick.
Right.
Like someone is actually keeping track besides me.
But there's so many classics. Arnold,
Oh, yeah.
just classics.
I love
Eraser.
Arnold's.
Yeah.
He's really good in this movie that we're going to talk about today. Which almost sounds like I'm starting the podcast on purpose, but don't worry. As you know, I don't know how to start the podcast yet. So it'll either be that or something along the lines of, welcome to Late to Movies. My name is Ben Holt, and this is a podcast where my friends and I get to fill in our movie blind spots. Each week, we'll pick a movie that one of us, either me or a guest, hadn't seen before and really should have by now. As we're recording this, the last episode I recorded, the Terminator one, I forgot to say that part. I feel like it's a pretty important part of the podcast, but I forgot to say it, so whatever. The Aliens episode is going to come out in between, but I haven't recorded that yet. Hopefully I'll remember then too. Your guest this week, my guest this week, it's Anthony, back again.
Ben.
Five-time returning champ now, 4-time, 5 times, something like that.
You know what, Ben? I'm sick of being in the van. Next time, you're in the van.
You're fired. Good.
Nice. Good comeback.
Yep. Pretty good movie. I hadn't seen this one before.
I think I saw this, but a very, very, very long time ago. And it's always on TV, I feel like, obviously, as we know.
I had seen just the scene where he's playing the recording telling Jamie Lee Curtis to dance sexy.
Yeah.
On
right,
TV
yeah.
at probably a much too young age. And that's
Probably, right.
That's all I had seen of this movie before watching it. Normally we don't get right into the movie, but I do want to address off the top. We both watched this on actual TV because it's not available to rent or stream.
3 hours, yep.
It's barely available to purchase anywhere.
Unless you have a DVD player.
Right, yeah, exactly. So I feel bad because I do know some people do like to watch the movies as we do these episodes. So I'll just say I did save it to my DVR. It was on AMC last night as we're recording this. And if you want to come over and watch it, you can use my Xfinity login.
Oh, cool. Nice. Actually, it's on today's February 10th, and it's on again today from 5 to 8 p.m.
Oh, no. This episode's not coming out for like 2 weeks.
You missed it.
You missed it. You missed your chance. We'll get into the way that there is at least 2 major movies from the guy who has the first, third, and fourth highest grossing film of all time. But aside from those 3 movies, half of his movies are not available to watch anywhere. So that's weird.
He just wants to make more money.
I guess. Like I would have paid money to watch this, but
that's true.
No one had given me that option. Anyway, but first, watch anything good recently? Your last episode was Citizen Kane, so it's been about a month, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Anything good in the last month?
Yeah. Been binging some Academy Award nominated movies and actors. Like I watched Banshees. That was phenomenal. Colin Farrell, what a resurgence.
Yeah, we love Banshees.
And then Living. I saw Living in the theater. That was amazing. I unfortunately, to admit, I cried. It was that guy's his main role there. Absolutely phenomenal.
Bill Nighy.
Yeah.
He's I think he might be a first-time nominee at however many years old he is. So it's
well deserved.
Yeah,
that was an excellent. One of the best movies I've seen. Definitely the best movie so far in 2023.
Oh wow, cool! I definitely want to check it out. It's playing somewhat nearish by that I can try and make time to get to. It's tough every time I want to go watch a movie. James Cameron re-releases something.
Yeah, right.
I got to go back to the theaters and spend 4 hours there.
Right, exactly.
So.
Watching a bunch of blue guys dance around the screen.
Well, Titanic's back out again, so
excellent.
I legitimately do really want to go see it, and I really liked Avatar also.
I know
they had more blue guys this time. Everyone's blue now.
And I don't know if you watched this, but I also watched Poker Face with
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah,
I haven't yet, but I really want to.
On one of the previous episodes, my favorite TV show of all time is Columbo. This is exactly, she's a huge Columbo head too.
Yep.
Exactly the same format. Absolutely phenomenal TV show. I'm glad they bring that sort of format back because you don't see it too often.
I know Ryan Johnson is involved somehow
Yep.
in that. Is he directing, just producing or something? I'm not really sure.
I think he's doing a little bit of both and writing.
Yeah, just from following him on Twitter, I know he's involved in it somehow.
It's better than Knives Out.
Yeah.
The second one. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard it's really good. I like Natasha Lyonne. I thought she was awesome in Russian Doll.
Yeah.
That I think has a couple seasons now, but that just started just a couple years ago on Netflix. And yeah, so I want to that's on the list, but
It's very good.
it's Oscar season, so it's tough to get a word in
That's
edgewise.
true, right.
I went to the movies to see something that won't be nominated for an Oscar, but I still enjoyed it a lot. A Knock at the Cabin, new M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, was it good?
I really liked it.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good.
Yeah.
And we'll see. This might be the second week in a row that we talk about this because the episode I record tomorrow is going to come out first, but whatever. I thought it was great. I love Dave Bautista.
Yeah.
He's really, really good in it.
Really. I think he's,
It
I think he's
worked
pretty,
for me.
like an underrated actor.
Yeah, and it's such a specific vibe that the specific vibe. What I mean by that is a lot of people think M. Night Shyamalan's writing is really bad.
Yeah.
But I think it's just unique. It's a lot of people saying things in a weird way.
Right.
And Bautista executes that really, really well.
Is it better than Lady in the Water?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's better than Lady in the
Enough
Water.
said.
And I've also been watching a lot of the Oscar stuff. I've gotten all Best Pictures besides Women Talking Now. We're going to do a whole big thing on Oscars for March, so I'll save some of my opinions, but
Yeah. Well, can I ask you one opinion?
yeah.
Tar.
I love Tar.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to be in a certain mood to watch it? Or I thought about putting it on, but I didn't.
It's like 2 hours and almost 40 minutes, so
Right.
you need to have some time
Yeah.
carved out. And yeah, you got to want to be engaged with it. It's funnier than people give it credit for, I think. It's directed by Todd Fields, who this is only like his third movie, but you might know him from his acting career. He's in Eyes Wide Shut. And he's, for that reason, I think people are often comparing him to Kubrick because it's impossible
Right.
not to. And yeah, it's, I don't want to say it's Kubrickian because that is stupid and overwrought to say.
Sure.
But it is a really well made. The people who made that movie are smarter than me, so that's why it's hard to put, I guess.
Yeah.
And
just seems like
Kate
a
Blanchett's amazing in it.
Yeah, of course. Right. It just seems like an odd sort of subject for a movie, and I guess I wasn't really.
Yeah. So a lot of the other people who are on this podcast, they've ticked that box for their best picture viewing, and they mostly liked it too. All that to say, you don't have to know all the sort of classical music in jokes that are in the movie to still like the movie.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. I also watched Skinamarink.
What's that about?
It is a ultra low budget movie from Canada by this guy named Kyle Edward Ball that became this viral phenomenon, became super pirated, but then got a proper release. And in pretty limited release, it made over the course of like a weekend, which was only planned, and then like another, in some places kept it for another week, made like over $1 million, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the budget was $15,000.
Oh wow!
So
Hell yeah!
Yeah. I think that's so made in Canada, but I think the U.S. translation was they made it for about $15K.
Oh, gotcha.
U.S.
Oh,
And
so it made $1 million Canadian dollars.
made $1 million US
Okay,
on a
good.
15K US budget. And it's a horror movie. It's one of these movies that is by a filmmaker who grew up on like YouTube creepypasta horror,
Oh sure.
you assume.
Yep.
So it's just like grainy home footage. It's supposed to be from like set in the mid 90s. So it's like super grainy, like camcorder footage. You never really see any characters' faces.
Oh, like kind of like a Blair Witch.
It's super inspired by Blair Witch. And it's just these kids in a house. One's like 4 and one's about 8. And then their parents aren't there anymore. And then like the doors and windows start disappearing in the house. And they're just watching. Like, mostly their only source of light is a TV that's playing
Poltergeist.
Not even poltergeist. What's the word? It's like it's fair use, like public domain.
Oh,
It's-
sure. Okay.
It's just playing public domain cartoons.
Yeah.
And then stuff starts getting weird.
Yeah.
So,
Is it scary?
yeah.
Like very scary?
Some people find it extremely boring. I thought it was really effective.
Yeah. Okay. Is it like a Hereditary type of scary or?
Not even, because it's just such its own thing. It really is like it's just a blurry picture of the wall for a while.
Yeah.
And then a kid will hear a voice or something, and you're like, ooh, spooky.
Now, where'd you see this?
It's on Shudder now.
Okay.
And it's probably rentable on Prime, I'm assuming, if it's on
Yeah.
Shudder.
I'm not going to get a subscription to Shudder, so.
You get a free trial.
That's true.
There's some
too
good
much,
stuff on
there's
there.
too much effort. Then I forget, and I'm getting billed.
Well,
by
that's
Shudder.
true.
Yeah.
You immediately cancel the credit card that you
That's
set up
right.
the free
Yeah,
trial
right,
with.
Exactly.
All right, so that's we can get some good stuff
All right,
out of
let's
that.
go.
We can
Yeah, yeah.
switch to the movie.
Sweet.
So, I think I already said I hadn't seen this one fully before. I'm counting me as the person who hasn't seen it
Yeah,
this
perfect.
week.
Yeah.
But I think you told me it's one of your favorites, right?
I've seen it a long time ago. Yeah. But I've seen it before. Yes.
Yeah.
And I just love Arnold movies because this is what the movies are all about: action. It's got explosions, guns,
Yep.
terrorism, hot babes.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis dressing like a current Liz Warren for the first half of the movie.
Yep.
And then has like she's actually really hot because
Right.
she's only in her 30s in this movie.
Yeah.
Moment. Yeah, great. Good stuff. I guess you'd say it's like an action comedy, right? It's funny.
Yeah. Well, isn't it? It's
Guy
based
gets
on
hit in the
that,
nuts at the end.
That's right. Yeah. Based on that French film,
La Totale.
which is a comedy.
Yes.
Yeah. It's sort of like this movie's like James Bond meets Get Smart in a way.
So we probably should address this because I've seen Triangle of Sadness, which I know you like.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
I don't find the same things funny that French people find funny all the time.
True.
Though I still liked Triangle of Sadness.
I-
But there's nothing French people find funnier than a literal river of shit that
Right.
someone falls into.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate punchline to French people for some reason. Not that there were that many French people involved in making this movie. I think Ruben Östlund's from Sweden. It's in English, but
Yeah.
French people loved this movie and gave it like all the top awards it can. So
They're just big Arnold
That's what I'm
Schwarzenegger fans.
that
I
too,
think.
yeah. It's so yeah, switching gears to True Lies. I guess do you want to give a 1 minute plot summary? Do you want me
Oh,
to?
yeah, you can. Yeah.
All right, fine.
The host delivers today.
I'll try. All right. So Arnold Schwarzenegger is living a double life. His wife thinks that he's a boring computer salesman, but he's actually a super secret agent for it's called like the Omega
Yeah. Maybe.
Project or the Omega Group. It's
No, I think you're right.
yeah, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, he works with Tom Arnold, who is also in this movie, and they work to do kind of espionage on behalf of the United States government. Eventually, Arnold starts to suspect that his wife is having an affair. This leads to him using his super spy network to kind of get some revenge at the guy that's sort of hoodwinking her, Bill Paxton. And then this leads directly into some other hijinks where actual terrorists kidnap him and his wife. And then they get away, but those terrorists also kidnapped his daughter, who's played by Eliza Dushku. And they have to go not let a nuke go off in downtown Miami.
Perfect.
That's pretty much it, right?
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Only went over by 5 seconds.
This movie's a real who's who of who's dead. You know, Bill Paxton,
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P. Tom Arnold, R.I.P.
Is Tom Arnold dead?
He's been dead for like
Really?
hasn't he been dead for a long time?
Let me find
Who am I thinking of? Oh no, I'm not thinking of not Tom Arnold. I was thinking of the other guy in Jingle All the Way.
Sinbad.
No. Sinbad's still alive.
Yeah, Sinbad's still alive.
Who's the
That's-
other guy? Phil Hartman.
Oh, yeah, Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman, yeah. Phil Hartman, Tom Arnold, a very poor man's Phil Hartman.
That's true.
As
But
Arnold's sidekick.
weren't they both married to Roseanne? No.
I don't think Phil Hartman was. No.
Yeah, it couldn't have been. No way.
No.
Damn it. What an epic fail that was.
That's I'm so thrown off. Who's that? It's like, yeah, Paxton. Yes.
Well, still Bill Paxton. I mean,
Sad,
R.I.P.
yeah, R.I.P..
Twister. Great film.
Yeah. I just re-uploaded Titanic to get it back to the top of the feed for the re-release. He's in the frame of that.
That's right. Yep.
As what I guess Robert Ballard thinks he actually looks like.
Right.
A really cool Hollywood star. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So this movie is weird.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that weird.
It's pretty weird.
It's a pretty original concept.
Yeah, it's a little bit. It doesn't ever quite like go off the rails and feel all over the place, but it is sort of like, oh, they're adding another thing.
It takes you to the brink. Yeah, right.
They're adding another, not even a twist, just another
Right.
level of thing happening on top of
Right,
what was
right,
happening
exactly.
before.
But I really appreciate this movie because in the beginning, when he's leaving the
Mhm.
party there and he blows before the dogs, he
Yeah.
bashes them, and they're so fake. You can just tell when he hits them together. They're just two like rubber animals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I love it. I appreciate the attention to detail.
yeah. I should. I mean, off the top, I'll tell you, I liked this movie a lot. Actually, I thought the action was great. I thought it was pretty funny. And then especially the stunts that they were doing in the last couple sequences, both on the 7 Mile Bridge in the Keys, and then the Harrier jet under the crane in Miami.
Right.
I thought that stuff was all really good.
That was excellent.
And why I say it's weird is because it's, I mean, you got the stuff that people talk about from this movie, I guess today, is like the sort of weird, icky vibe from Bill Paxton and sometimes from Tom Arnold, who, these aren't guys that the movie's asking you to empathize with.
No, not at all. Right.
But it is like a weird, like, oh yeah, this isn't how people talk in movies anymore, but we don't really make action comedies anymore either.
Yeah.
But just from a standpoint of like the gender stuff that's going on.
Sure. It's the early 90s. It was a different time.
The racial stuff with like how they're depicting Middle Eastern people and stuff. And I mean, just generally terrorism. This was supposed to have a sequel, but the reason it never got off the ground is because of 9/11.
Sure.
As I think Jamie Lee Curtis has said many times, like people don't really find terrorists funny anymore. So
I thought about, it's ironic about that. I thought about 9/11 the entire time, just about in this film, especially at the end when they're in a Harrier jet firing a missile through a building that hits a helicopter. And the cutout of the building is eerily similar to that, right? So it's very, very weird. So I hear you on that one a little,
Yeah. So it's just kind of like odd. There's some things that just hit your ear a little weird.
Right.
But it's like, man, he's using a lot of government resources just to get revenge on his wife, who doesn't actually seem to have really done that much wrong.
But who hasn't? What congressman hasn't used the FBI to surveil their ex-wife? You know what I mean? And
I'm not trying to go cinnamon sins. I'm not going like cinema sins dinging like, this isn't how it would work today.
Yeah.
In the real world, you couldn't do that. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying it's a little weird, but I still liked it. And
But it's a top secret. Nobody knows about this organization, the Omega Sector.
One thing I really like that I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but a thing that people often bring up with any time that Arnold is in a non-action movie or even in an action movie where he's just like a guy that lives in a neighborhood. I think in Jingle All the Way, he's just like, yeah, that's just a normal dude who lives in Minnesota or something. Yeah. And you're like, people would be like, why is this guy here? This is an alien.
Yeah.
So I like that the joke kind of in this movie is that he is this like super heroic action dude.
Right.
But his frame story is that he is the most boring man in the world that has a boring guy job.
Because Jamie Lee Curtis even says that when she wants to fall asleep, she just asks her husband about her day.
Right.
About his day.
Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, I guess, I don't know if they were purposely, riffing on that, but the frame story of him being like this normal guy is so unbelievable in every other movie that it's funny that is sort of like an obvious.
I bet you James Cameron is playing on that trope a little bit.
I think so. Jim's smart. Big Jim's smart. Oh, it's James Cameron month in case we haven't seen it. So that yet on the podcast. But anyway, I've been talking for a while. What did you think about the movie?
I mean, I really love this movie. I love all of Arnold Schwarzenegger's movies, even the bad ones like Last Action Hero. But they all follow a similar formula. There's plenty of action, great dialogue. Arnold is great at giving like a Laconian speech of just very simple, direct sentences. the best. We missed that today in movies.
I think Roger Ebert's review said this is what you go to Arnold Schwarzenegger movies for.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting an Academy Award. I'm
Yeah.
not expecting to be floored by Tom Arnold's performance. But you want a good...
It's a good way to set your...
Exactly. And the best name ever, Harry Rehnquist. Excellent spy name.
Yeah.
No one would ever suspect that guy was a spy.
Yeah. Rehnquist.
If you work with a guy named Harry Rehnquist, you know he's in the CIA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, man, yeah. Well, it seems like no one ever really believes him, no matter which he's trying to do, aside from Jamie Lee Curtis.
Right.
So it all works. I like the first sequence. I think so. The opening chalet, not the last place where they're dancing, but the first place where he's dancing with Tia Carrere's new one of the Newport mansions.
Oh, is it?
The exterior is a Newport mansion, and then the interior is a different Newport mansion.
Oh, cool. I didn't.
But then the other places, they film all over the place. It took them like 7 months to film this.
Yeah.
That's James Cameron.
Well, yeah, and it's very James Bond-esque the way the movie opens, right? So he's at a formal, dressed up to the nines at a formal engagement there, trying to sell some Persian art.
Yep. He's doing the super spy, slickly going around, infiltrating and moving and dancing with the the babe and
the femme fatale.
Yeah, the femme fatale.
Yeah.
And then I like that it isn't a clean escape.
No, yeah. Well, how is he going to get out of there? He's going to walk right through the front door.
And everyone's like, that's a bad idea. And then he's immediately stopped, has to blow a bunch of things up.
Where's your papers?
Yeah, run away. Yeah. And then it's the guy that chews him out back at headquarters at Charlton Heston, I think.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
With the eye patch?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, hell no.
Thinking of a James Cameron interview where he talks about how Leo in Titanic kept wanting to have some kind of affectation. He wanted to give himself a limp or have a gimpy arm or wear an eye patch or something. And James Cameron had to be like, the real stars of the golden age of Hollywood, they didn't need anything like that to hold the screen. So maybe you're just not ready. And so he was just kind of nagging Leo into doing the performance that he wanted.
Nice.
And so it's just funny that here's Charlton Heston, throw an eye patch on him.
Yeah, but what is he in this movie? 90?
He's got to be.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
85?
he's got to be.
So, I mean, it's Charlton Heston. You got to let him, you give him a little wiggle room,
Yep. So as I'm watching, it's right around there is the first commercial break, the first of many times I'll hear about something
Those
called
commercials
Mayfair
are
Witches.
So long.
So Mayfair Witches airs on Wednesdays, I want to say something like that. And
good old Anne Rice still at it.
still getting after it. AMC's very proud that they're showing both Now You See Me films, which I'll always be upset that the second one is not called Now You Don't.
Oh, you should have. That's
missed opportunity.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, every 15 minutes watching this movie, you get to hear Morgan Freeman going abracadabra. So that's great. Real frustrating experience, but not the movie's fault.
That's true, right?
I watched it on the DVR, so I was going skipping the 30 seconds ahead, still.
But otherwise, the movie does flow pretty well. I mean, it's a pretty Bill Paxton shows up. Poor Arnold, he's never around. So obviously, Jamie Lee Curtis is looking. She wants an adventure.
Just looking for some adventure.
Exactly.
Something to make her feel alive.
Right. And she picks Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
Who just got back from chasing tornadoes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's right around that time, right?
I think it's after, but.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. I mean, Paxton's really good in this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What he's doing.
He's believable.
I feel like what I knew about this movie, besides that one scene I had seen when I probably shouldn't have, is Bill Paxton saying that Jamie Lee Curtis has an ass like a 10-year-old boy.
I heard that line. I was like, wait a minute.
Which is, I think, an improv.
I don't know.
I don't know. Did James Cameron write that?
Well, hopefully they edit that out of the re-release.
Yeah, and it's impossible. So this whole month, this is in between Wife 3 and 4 for James Cameron.
Okay.
But the year after he has had a child with Wife 4, but they're not married yet, that being Linda Hamilton. So yeah, you always wonder, anytime there's any sort of relationship in a James Cameron movie, it's impossible not to wonder exactly who he was married to and if they were divorced yet.
Yeah.
At that point in time.
It's him.
That's him. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is after The Abyss, which is probably the most specifically about a divorced couple like trying to rekindle something as he was getting through a divorce. But this is in between, so I guess he's happy enough. But
Arnold didn't want Jamie Lee Curtis to be the lead role.
Interesting.
So, but James Cameron, she worked with James Cameron's wife on, I think, Blue Steel.
Okay.
So James Cameron was like, they auditioned a bunch of other female leads, and he couldn't find anybody. So he finally went back to Arnold and he said, "Do you trust me?" And Arnold said, "Yep." Then he goes, "It's Jamie Lee Curtis." And Arnold was like, "This is terrible." But Arnold was so impressed by her acting that they shared top billing.
Yeah, she's great in this. She wins a Golden Globe for Best Actress.
In a musical or comedy.
Yeah, well, I mean, she does do a dance to a song at one point.
Yep.
And
2 dances.
It's funny, I'm just reflecting on, in the Gene Dealman episode, we were talking about it as like this huge feminist totemic work, and we didn't like mention the name of the director until like halfway through the episode or something horrible like that. So just thinking, like, you know, I don't mean to be flippant. Wife 3 is, of course, Best Director at the Oscars winner, Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah,
so
yes. I didn't write that in my notes, but that's what I was thinking of. Yeah. Blue
Steel. Lady that our hero used to be married to.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Who happens to be a super successful and famous director in their own right. Sorry to Catherine Bigelow.
So he knew her from
Strange Days is on HBO Max again.
And he saw her in Blue Steel. He's like, it's got to be Jamie Lee Curtis. This is the one. And he was right. She's
pretty perfect for this. I don't love what she's doing in the first half, but I think that's obviously maybe not on purpose. You're not supposed to dislike it, but it does set up really well when she does, kind of come alive in the second half.
Right. Well,
which is that stuff. It's not that I don't love what she's doing. It's in the first half. It's more just like, you don't need Jamie Lee Curtis for this.
Yeah. Yep.
She can do a lot more. And then, okay, that's the direction that they're going.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
But do we ever figure out why, or do they ever close the loop on Eliza Dushku stealing the money out of the jacket? No.
Just that he's worried about her
right.
morally.
Yeah, right. Tom Arnold goes on a tangent there on that one. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's right. But he never confronts her on it. Well,
no, he doesn't come back until after she's in bed that night, and then the next day he's off doing something else, probably.
Exactly, yeah, he saves her at the end on the Harrier jet. So.
Yeah. That's a fun build too. So James Cameron, this whole month we're going to be talking about how much he loves tech and robots and all this and all mechs and stuff. And this movie doesn't have a ton of that stuff until it starts getting a lot of it towards the end.
Right.
Where there's, nukes on trucks being chased by helicopters.
It's not a nuke.
Harrier
It's
jets.
a snow cone machine.
It's a snow cone machine. Espresso maker. That's.
But then what does he say at the water bubbler?
Yeah,
no, not a bubbler.
It's something like that. Yeah, water cooler. Probably, right. It's he gets his toys to play with eventually. Does James?
Yeah,
Cameron.
This is the first movie to go over $100 million.
Yes, it is the first one to go over $100 million,
and it's all on the Harrier jet.
It should be, yeah. So the clip I sent you that you said you'd already seen.
Yes, I remember watching that. Yeah.
Yeah, where they're. The thought I weren't jumping around plot wise, but because this is the ending, but this, talking about the tech of it, that sequence all in downtown Miami on the rooftop, they would be doing that if it's Marvel in a conference room in Atlanta today. But watching that, I'm like, this is 1994.
Right.
So I guess they probably just did that. And yeah, they basically did. They made I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's quite full scale, but almost a model of a Harrier jet.
Right. Yep.
That they attached to a robotic arm on the top of a 20-story building in downtown Miami.
Yep.
And they did just film it like that.
That's movie magic. It's movie magic. Yeah. That's real skill right there.
Looks so cool.
And even the CG great. That they use.
Yeah.
Right. That looks pretty good. Yeah. For 1994.
The heat ripples and I think the nose cone of the plane is CG and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff. And then obviously the guy on the missile getting shot is
perfect.
But whatever, it's all good.
There was The Apprentice before The Apprentice.
You fired. And the sequence before that, maybe we're just doing the whole thing backwards now, where they're on the bridge and Arnold is hanging from the helicopter and they're
Right.
trying to
Yeah.
grab Jamie Lee Curtis out of the car. It's like,
Perfect.
this is a great stunt.
Great stunts.
Great
Yep.
stunt, and the car's going back and forth.
Yep.
And he can't quite get the grip on her, and yeah, great stunt.
And Arnold did most of it. He didn't do all of them, but he did a lot of his own stunts in this film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. We love Arnold here. Yeah, we'll do an Arnold month now that we've done
Oh,
a couple of his best movies.
like-
we got a lot left over still.
Maybe we are going back to front to back, middle, all over the place.
Okay.
That's the beauty of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. You like him from any point. You can pick it up.
We're just ranking our action
Exactly.
sequences now.
Yep.
The horse chase, which makes me reevaluate John Wick 3, where there's a horse gunfight chase.
Yeah.
Like I thought that was special, but no, Arnold's on a horse chasing
He
a guy
almost
on a
he almost
motorcycle.
died in real life. He fell off the horse.
Right, yeah, because it got spooked on
Yep.
top of the building,
Right.
right?
And so his stunt double had to save him from falling off a 30-foot
Jesus.
drop.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
Arnold he would have survived. He's
and
the
it-
Terminator.
That's true, yeah.
The
We're just sat up.
exoskeleton would have just
Exactly. Yeah, that chase sequence is cool too. And that does happen pretty soon after where we already set up the beginning of the movie.
right.
Yeah, Eliza Dushku steals some money from Tom Arnold and heads off to school
On
with
a motorcycle.
with a boyfriend who we never see again.
Never saw him again.
That's fine.
I assume high school, right?
Yeah, gotta be.
On a motorcycle.
Something like that. Or even like middle school. I think Eliza Dushku is only like 12 or 13 in this
Right.
movie, right?
Oh yeah, true.
Mhm.
But it's got to be high school.
Probably. Maybe she's playing older. This is the movie that she cites as the stunt coordinator assaulted her.
Yeah, yep.
When she was a kid,
right.
and then she got injured.
Broke 3 or 4 ribs.
Yeah, on a stunt that dude was supposed to be like supervising the
Right,
safety
yep.
of. So shitty. Seems
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
hopefully stuff's gotten better, but
Right.
this being the 90s and her only being like a preteen, obviously wasn't being protected. That sucks. And there's not a good transition out of that, but it would feel weird not to mention that this is the movie that Eliza Dushku cites for that happening.
But Jamie Lee Curtis said that it was one of the best movies she's ever worked on.
It seems like they're having fun, because it would be really awkward for the stuff that they have to do if it wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, that whole sequence. So is the point of, let's just go in order. So there's another thing that I was like, oh, I thought this was unique to an action movie I saw way after this came out, but no, this happens here. So they end up in that mall or wherever,
Yeah.
getting with the Crimson Jihad guys.
Yeah, right.
That
Because he's
follow him
supposed to
into
be
the bathroom.
he's supposed to be going home to his birthday party.
Yes.
Right, and he's way late.
Yeah, and they know
He's
they're
chasing
yeah.
Salim.
Yeah. So there's the bathroom fight, and it's a lot like the Mission Impossible Fallout bathroom fight.
Or the James Bond Casino Royale bathroom.
Yeah, that's true. It is, and it's not just like not to just do the Boss Baby vibes meme, but there's fights in bathrooms. The
That's true, right.
water's spurting out of walls, sinks are
Yep.
being broken.
Yep.
People are putting other people's heads in urinals and saying "cool off."
A fight in a bathroom that no one hears.
No, they just
in a
go
mall.
about their day, including gunshots.
Not just gunshots, an AK-47.
You're right, yeah, machine gun shots. But those guys, they cool off. After the guy gets swirled in a urinal, he then
Yeah.
gets shot a bunch of
Right,
times
yep.
by Salim.
Yep.
And then there's the chase that goes on a really long time.
Right.
Ends up with that guy on a motorcycle.
They shoot in a crowd, hits nobody.
Shooting,
Yeah.
lots of crowd shooting. Arnold's following on a horse. I do like that he basically clotheslines the cop off the horse and says, "Federal officer,
Yeah.
sorry."
Yeah.
And they end up having to go up an elevator to a
Can you
rooftop.
push the button
like,
to the top floor, please?
they're at like a rooftop bar. I think it's fantastic that the motorcycle makes the jump to the pool.
Right.
There's no way that possibly happens. And then I love that Arnold's immediately like, okay, we're going to jump it with the horse. The horse disagrees.
Yep.
Good sequence.
Yeah, excellent. Non-stop action.
I like it.
Yep.
I like it a lot.
But that's how we find out that Helen is maybe having an affair on Arnold because he goes to her work the next day to apologize for being late to
Yes.
surprise her.
Yeah.
And then her coworker is like, "Oh, special guy's on the line." And it's
Yeah.
Bill Paxton saying he's a used car salesman, but a secret spy.
Yep. Yes, he runs a gambit of trying to pick up women by pretending to be a secret agent. Unfortunately for him, the person that he's hitting on, their husband actually is a secret agent, and that kicks off, I guess, the real plot of the movie.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, just based on James Cameron says all his movies are love stories, so perhaps according to him, that's the real plot of this movie. So
yeah.
I haven't seen Piranha 2, but jury's out on that.
Yeah. Well.
So I think, worth mentioning, normally we don't always have to get so in the weeds on the plot, but just because this movie is for many people impossible to see right now, it feels like we might as well.
Right. Let's do it.
Yeah, I like that this there's a couple times where Arnold's just being really intense, like eating dinner or something, and the camera like zooms in on him and he's giving like a Terminator look.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah.
This whole gambit that he does, is this like revenge, or is this like all the way through, including to like sending her to the hotel?
Yeah.
Or is it like she wants like some excitement in her life, so then he switches up and like, oh, we're going to send you on an assignment?
Yeah. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a mixture of a little bit of revenge, a little bit of jealousy, a little bit of coming to the realization that he's not a part of his wife and his daughter's life as much as he probably should be.
Yeah.
And then they come up with this really elaborate scheme. Well, we'll give her some excitement. We'll involve her in my real spy life. And Tom Arnold use this voice, I don't know, equalizer to
It's weird.
throw it off.
Yeah. Unpleasant. Not a thing bros should do for each other.
But you know how, so when Tom Arnold prints out all the dialogue, they start recording the phone calls, he prints it out. So Tom Arnold gives him the pages.
Yeah, Arnold has wiretapped Jamie Lee Curtis's phone at this point.
Right.
Yep.
So he gives Arnold the pages. Tom Arnold gives Arnold Schwarzenegger the pages.
Oh,
right?
no.
And he's missing page 10. Where's page 10? They pull over, he drives up on the curb. He smashes the window. He smashes the wrong window. That's a real car window. That's how strong Arnold Schwarzenegger is. He's supposed to smash the other one, which is a fake window.
God, he doesn't
hits
even
the
flinch.
wrong one. Doesn't even flinch.
Jesus.
Because underneath that is hard metal.
Yeah, well, hey, he's a cybernetic organism.
Exactly. It's kind of ironic that he uses Skynet to spy on his wife.
Yeah, right, totally. Fortunately, this movie Skynet doesn't go live, so they're still okay for now. But yeah, just not great things. Even Tom Arnold's like, hey man, this is creepy.
Right. Yeah. So they set him up. They set up Bill Paxton and Helen to.
Yeah.
He almost throws Bill Paxton off a roof.
Yeah. Well, it's like a dam, right?
Yeah. Yeah. A dam. Right. Yeah.
Bill Paxton, for not the last time in the movie, pees himself.
Yep.
And then they go on.
He pulls. Is his best Billy Madison impression. If Peony Pants is cool, then it's Miles Davis.
They interrogate Helen, who was Jamie Lee Curtis, and then.
But to go back to your early point.
Yep.
Arnold asks her, "Do you love your husband?" And she says, "Yes, I love my husband," with the conviction.
Yeah.
And that's the moment that he realizes, man, this is so stupid. I've really been an idiot. And so he honestly, in earnest, sets up a spy game to prove how much he loves her and give her some excitement.
Yeah, a spy game that's like also in his mind going to turn into like a date night, I guess.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Little does he know Salim is watching him.
Yeah. And you gotta wonder, like,
how do they miss that one, Omega?
Well, that's true too, but I don't know how Arnold really thought he was going to transition from like making her think she's in a life-threatening situation to like, oh, it's just my husband who's been doing this.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I was like. Was the intention? Was he just kind of going with the vibe at that point? Or I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter because they get kidnapped before any of that can come to a head.
The part when she's dancing on the bed
and
she falls, that's not scripted. She really falls. And you see Arnold jump.
Yeah.
Because he's worried that she fell and hurt herself. But it lends to the character because she's portrayed as being a little clumsy and aloof.
Yeah.
And it works out so well, but that's just some behind-the-scenes knowledge dropping on you there.
Well, thank you for that. That's cool. Jamie Lee Curtis is Golden Globe winning performance
That's
in
right,
here. Also a first-time Oscar nominee as of this year, so cool, good for her. This is that's a cool scene that I guess it's an interesting scene. It's probably really hard to have gotten it to a place where it doesn't feel like really weird and alienating.
Yeah.
That there is still some humor and even, I guess, warmth to it. But it's...
I mean, I guess a little bit.
Know.
If you take it on face value, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's just so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
pretty weird.
odd. It is odd. I hear you on that.
It's odd. But whatever. It doesn't...
But the romance doesn't last because the terrorists almost win.
Yep. Terrorists come, and including the femme fatale, who is legitimately an art dealer, but is just like...
A front.
Yeah. Does she have to be involved in this part of the operation, though?
No, but I think it shows a little like... I don't actually, no, probably not.
Does she?
I don't think she has to be involved in the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Does she actually have to go to the Florida Keys where the nuke is with them? It doesn't seem like that's a necessary part of what she's providing to this organization.
She's just the front smuggling in the nuclear weapons as Persian art.
Yeah. I don't feel like she personally has to go with them, but whatever.
Yeah.
Gives Jamie Lee Curtis something to punch in a limo later.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole back and forth. Oh, this is my wife. Yeah, I'll show you my locket.
Yep. Yeah, it's funny where he's like obviously trying to, for her own safety, and she just won't have it.
Clue.
Doesn't understand what's happening. Doesn't realize he's a spy.
Right.
And so they end up in the Florida Keys. This sequence is pretty cool. He gets to go Rambo. She even calls him Rambo at one point.
I married Rambo.
Yep. And they're there for a while. They get tied up. He gets truth serum. They have a discussion.
So in the truth serum, the more he takes, the thicker his accent becomes. If I picked up on that, because
it's probably hard to slur in a different language.
Right, exactly. I thought that was funny.
It is funny, yeah. I like that he immediately tells her, like, yeah, we're gonna die.
Yeah,
they're either gonna torture us or they'll leave us here where the bomb explodes or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
This movie reminded me a lot of like playing Counter-Strike with my friends sometimes.
Yeah, that feels familiar for sure. So they head out. Arnold tells the torturer guy, like, I'm going to kill you really soon, like this way. And then he just does that.
Yeah, right. He says, how? Oh, my handcuffs.
Yeah, I picked my handcuffs. And then, he, finds the weapons he can, kills a bunch of dudes.
Right. But we missed the best part. When Salim shows him, you know what this is? A snow cone maker.
Yeah, yep.
No, an espresso machine.
Where he makes him, like, on camera say they have these warheads and the ability. Yeah, he's doing, like, the proof of...
Right.
Right, yeah, that is really funny when they do that.
That's some humor in there.
Yeah, it's good humor. Arnold's really good in this movie. Schwarzenegger, I mean. Tom Arnold's fine. I mean, he's doing his Tom Arnold thing.
Right.
That's what he does.
Yeah, that's he's there for a reason.
Yep. Did you ever see The Kid in I?
No.
It is a Tom Arnold starring movie that I've never seen, but is about a version of Tom Arnold that starred in True Lies, and Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis are in it playing themselves.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
But I don't know much about it.
I don't know. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I know next to nothing about it, but apparently,
Yeah.
It's a thing. So, they do work together again, Arnold and Arnold. So they, I guess, hit it off. But yeah, he's cracking necks. He does like he goes full Splinter Cell and like rappels just using his feet upside down a rope and cracks the guy's neck and stuff like that.
Yep.
I really liked the bit where Jamie Lee Curtis tries to shoot someone, immediately lets go, and then the gun just cartwheels down the stairs shooting as it goes.
Yeah.
Not super realistic.
No, but
because she doesn't have any cover, assuming it would be coming at her too.
Right,
but.
right. But like the other shots
but
fired
she kills
in this movie,
everyone,
right?
so.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
It's good. It's whatever. It's an action comedy. We're not dinging that.
Right.
I should start dinging. I have an actual bell that I ring.
Yeah, right. Yeah. A little. You need
stupid.
like an Arnold Schwarzenegger soundboard. That'd be good for this.
Yeah, just really annoying, really impossible to listen to podcast.
Right, yeah.
That's what we need now.
But as the movie progresses, and we already said this before, but the helicopter chase scene,
Yep.
which leads to the Harrier jet on the roof.
Oh, but before they leave the island, there's a big explosion, and you get the shot from, James Cameron had to be excited about that underwater shot.
Right.
Of Arnold.
Mr. Water himself. Right.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is in the limo. Arnold gets into that helicopter, and the Harrier jets are also there.
Right.
Because Omega Group, is that what we ended up saying?
Omega Sector.
Omega Sector.
Yep.
Whatever they are, they have some authority over the Air Force, I guess, or is that Navy? I don't know.
I don't know which branch uses the Harrier jet.
I don't either. The Harrier jet has some authority over the Harrier
they
jets.
just steal them, right?
Yeah, they basically they commandeer them, and that's a great chase action sequence. The whole point is they're driving the nukes in so they don't have to go through customs,
right?
And so they're coming up from the Keys. They're using the bridges that go. I think it's 7 Mile Bridge or whatever.
Right.
I've never been down there. It looks great. Well, it doesn't after this. They're going to have to repair that bridge, but
yeah, they blow it up.
There's some great bits and really inventive action, and it's just, man, James Cameron just has the juice, man. He can design the hell out of an action set piece.
Yeah, you can tell he's on a roll in this film.
Yeah, he absolutely. I think I have he's on a roll at some point in this area, but that scene's so cool. I mean, the jets and even the stuff that's happening inside the trucks, like the guy with the bazooka where the recoil blasts the guy through the front and it drives over him, and then they don't know where he went.
Right. And they start yelling at each other because they fire the rocket and miss. And I assume they're yelling, saying, "How can you miss the jet?" And the guy's like, "It's a rocket." I don't know.
It's just good shit.
Yeah.
And man, obviously they blow up the bridge because they had to.
Right.
There's the bit where they think they're balanced, but then the Pelican lands, and just classic Looney Tunes, like straight up Wile E. Coyote bits, but it's still. But
that makes it light and fun,
Yeah, absolutely. I keep feeling like I'm saying this in a tone of, and that's why it's stupid.
No.
I'm saying, I like this.
No, not at all.
This is good. I like it.
It's a classic action film. But then Arnold steals the jet to go chase Salim up to the top because.
There's a moment here that I love and that I was thinking of later with just in the Terminator episode, we were talking about just the efficiency.
Yeah. That
it doesn't, there's an opening text block, but then it doesn't really give you an exposition dump until about 45 minutes in. And I just loved at first played for comedy that Arnold doesn't really know how to fly one of these things.
Right.
But then in the actual climax, where he's trying to save his daughter, you're like, he doesn't really know how to control that thing.
Right.
So that's like adding another layer to that, which is just a really efficient way to, add that to the
and Tom Arnold even says, "Oh, this is in true Tasker fashion," or something like that.
Yep. He says, "You haven't really flown one of these in 10 years." It's like riding a bike.
Right.
And before he leaves, though, they kiss in front of the mushroom cloud.
Yep.
Which you just think like, oh, that's all James Cameron wants in this world.
Just wants the explosion. Right.
Just wants to kiss an attractive lady in front of a mushroom cloud. And so he takes off eventually in the Harrier jet after. Yeah.
Little ups and downs. Yep.
Yep. I do like Tom Arnold being like, all right, everyone should find cover.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. And now they're in downtown Miami. And this whole sequence is great. You'd have the guys inside the building.
Yep.
The news helicopters at a distance, the fake news crew that infiltrates, and then Arnold coming in on the Harrier jet. Yep. Eliza Dushku is hostage in there.
Right.
When the team so one of the guys in the chair that isn't Tom Arnold, the one that ends up with the camera that shoots all the guys on the 20th floor, 21st floor, whatever it is. He's acted a ton, but he's also produced and sometimes written and a couple times directed basically everything George Clooney's been in the last 20 years.
Really?
So he's like a really tight George Clooney collaborator.
Yeah.
No idea. He even produced Ticket to Paradise this year. So that guy is super prolific. He is a credited producer on Argo, so technically he won the Academy Award for Best Picture.
Oh, right. Yep.
So that guy's super prolific as a writer, sometimes director and actor, but mostly for producing, I guess, what he would probably say is his main gig. So yeah, just a cool little tidbit for those of you listening.
Yeah, no, I had no idea. Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, this sequence operating on a few different levels.
Yeah.
Another thing that James Cameron does really well is give you a sense of the geography of this building, the floors, what's happening on the crane.
Yep. A great use too of when we saw that behind the scenes, the green screen.
Yeah.
And superimposing the background of Miami.
Yeah.
On top of the fake Harrier jet in the sound studio and on top of the building, putting it together.
Yeah.
Just a really good sequence.
Seamless. Yeah.
Yeah. And good skill.
It's really.
And the
so
CG
cool.
looks just as good as some of the stuff being done today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great because they actually built a plane that guy had to, get pitched off of.
Right.
And then they stitched that with a different shot where that guy was like thrown and then caught with his backpack on the missile.
On the missile, yeah.
Yeah, which they would just do all in CGI today and would look kind of floaty or like the fight at the end of the first Black Panther movies. So,
right.
Instead, it's like, I think they actually did that to that guy.
Yeah, right. He did. He actually rolled off the plane,
yeah,
hooked onto the missile,
yeah,
and then gets blown to smithereens.
Yeah. He didn't actually do that last part, but he might as well have.
Right, yeah, sure.
But yeah, that whole sequence is so cool. It goes on for a while, and I feel bad to just be like, oh, we're not worthy. It's so cool, but it is. And yeah, like you said, movie magic.
It's just that. So the Harrier jet is the same one used in the Avengers when Thor and the Hulk fight. Same Harrier jet.
Okay, now we're talking. That's awesome.
30 years later.
Well, I mean,
Almost.
if you hang on to it, if you got it,
exactly,
right?
Yeah.
Eliza Dushku, after stealing the key to the ignition of the nuclear device, goes up. Much like earlier, Salim goes up when Arnold is chasing him. Should you go up if someone's chasing you? It feels like down's your better bet.
I feel like that's a classic movie trope, though. Let's go. Yeah.
Well, it's more epic for the final standoff.
Exactly.
But, she goes up and then she doubles down, starts climbing up that crane.
Right.
No cover. People are shooting at her.
Nope. But
whatever, they're bad
as
shots.
we saw earlier, that they cannot hit anything,
They can't hit anything.
including a crowded mall.
Yeah, they can't do it. So
that's probably the most safest place to be then.
Yeah, and she's just bad move for her. I mean, it works out.
Right.
But she didn't know her dad had specifically a Harrier jet that he was on his way in on. If he was in a helicopter, she's screwed.
Yeah.
But specifically Harrier jet is, I think, the only thing that works in that situation.
Right. It has hover and forward mobility.
Yeah, and doesn't have a propeller on top of
right.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I don't blame her at all for not jumping the first time he's like jump, because it doesn't seem like he's aligned. He's too low.
No, way too low. She would have jumped right over it.
She would have slid off the front of it and fallen. She makes the right call by not jumping then. But I think just being out in that crane in the first place, bad move.
Scary.
Yeah, bad move.
But the windshield gets cracked and she's able to hold on. Arnold reaches through, pulls her in, just as Salim's about to come stab his arm off.
Yeah. It's just a great sequence. Yeah. I loved the whole, basically from when they leave the island to the end. It's just like a perfect action movie construction.
Right. Yeah.
And Salim gets a nut shot from the plane.
That's right.
Unusual way to get hit on the nuts, but he manages it.
First time in movie history.
Yeah, dude takes a bunch of L's in a short succession and then gets blown up.
Through a building, into a helicopter.
Yeah. Just unhook your backpack, dude.
I know.
Get out of there. But yeah, we like I said, the last one. Yeah, we'll do one, I think, every episode, at least these first 3. We haven't recorded Aliens yet, but it also has a cool line that someone says and then like kills someone.
You're fired.
You're fired in this one. You're terminated, fucker. In the Terminator.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Aliens, stay away from her, you bitch.
Yep.
I think is what she says.
Yep.
Maybe Get Away From Her, you bitch. I'll find out later. I'm going to watch Aliens after you leave and talk about it tomorrow on a podcast. Good shit, though.
Arnold also has one of his classics like, no, get down again.
Yeah. So
get to the chopper.
So we basically talked the whole movie through.
But not the end.
Oh, yeah. No, you're totally right. I think there's a moment where Jamie Lee Curtis answers the phone that they vignette on her eyes. Like they, a thing that they do very dramatically. And just think of another episode that we've done in Addams Family Values on Angelica Houston over and over again, where they like, there's a noir style bar of light over her eyes when she answers the phone. And yeah, Boris and Doris, you're on.
Yep.
And they go and they do a tango.
Right.
Which you can see coming, but it's still like, oh, that's a fun way to end the movie.
Yeah. Now they're a spy tandem.
Oh, and that's after fucking with Bill Paxton one more time.
Exactly.
After
who pees his pants again?
They make Bill Paxton
trying
pee
to
his
pull
pants again. Yeah.
the same ruse on some poor party goer. She has no idea what's coming until Boris and Doris show up.
It's so complicated.
Yeah.
If he just shaved his mustache, he'd probably have more success.
I think it kind of sells it. This guy must be a spy.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. No one would look this much like a used car salesman on purpose.
But as the film ends, the two of them are dancing the tango.
Yep. Over the credits, yeah.
She falls again.
Oh, really?
I
think I was taking notes at that point.
She does like the pseudo split.
Oh, yeah.
But that's actually her falling because she was so tired from all the filming, and she just couldn't hold herself up anymore.
Gosh. Well, she left it all on the floor. She gets a Golden Globe Award for Best Actress.
I call it acting.
She got the Saturn Award for Best Actress. Cameron won the Saturn Award for Best Director. Nominated just for visual effects at the Academy Awards.
Didn't win.
No. It's the third highest grossing film of 1994. This is a quick game. You want to try and guess the other top grossing films of 1994?
94?
You can do hints. The first one's animated. The second one wins Best Picture.
No, I have no idea.
Lion King.
Oh, Lion King. How could I forget?
Yep. Lion King.
What's the one that won Best Picture?
Forrest Gump.
Oh, Forrest Gump, of course.
Forrest Gump, yeah.
Yeah.
And then The Mask is number 4. Speed's number 5. That's your top 5.
Nice. What a year for action films.
Yeah.
True Lies and Speed? Oh, man. They don't make them like they used to.
Yeah, both in the top 5 also. The rest of the top 10, because I have it here. Flintstones.
Terrible.
Dumb and Dumber.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
4 Weddings and a Funeral. A UK movie breaking through here, getting number 8 of the year. Interview with the Vampire.
Another Anne Rice.
Yes, she's everywhere.
Full circle.
There's another Interview with the Vampire TV adaptation, I think, that just started like within the last few months or is currently on. I'm not watching, as you could tell. And Clear and Present Danger.
All right, good film.
Yeah. So that's your top 10 of the year.
It's the first $100 million film. How much did it make? About $400 million?
378. 800, so about 379.
No, not bad.
No, good return.
That's a great return.
It's no Lion King. 763 million in 94 money. Jeez. This is the first time that they used the classic to my childhood 20th Century Fox logo, where the camera like comes on over the top and then pans around.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Before that, it was just the static thing.
Right.
Still good. Aliens 3 has the one where it holds on the second to last note.
Yep.
Stuff like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool trivia.
But this, is the first one that does that. First film to cost $100 million. First Lightstorm Entertainment project to be distributed under Cameron's deal with 20th Century Fox. That one's less of a fun.
Oh, yeah, right. Right. No, but that's because they only want to make it for about 35 million.
Yeah.
And James Cameron's like, no. I'll fund it. Don't you worry.
I mean, if you describe it as kind of a romantic comedy, they're not expecting it's going to be the most expensive movie ever made.
Right. That's good.
One of many times he's had the distinction of most expensive movie ever made. A record he's beaten himself, at least with Titanic.
It has to have been.
And then I don't know how you parse the Avatar sequels because they filmed so much at the same time.
Right.
But I think they said so far, at least into 2 and 3, they've put like $400 million, something like that.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about Avatar later this month. So, yeah, overall, good movie. I liked it.
Loved it.
Yeah, you know what? I more than liked it. I don't know if I quite loved it. But that's only because of all the times I had to hear Morgan Freeman go,
Yeah, I hear you on that one.
yeah, I liked it a lot.
It was hard to watch it with commercials on regular TV, like
Yeah.
as if you're in 1994.
Yeah. I was in the early thousands because I could fast forward on the DVR for commercials, but it wasn't perfect.
I have YouTube TV. I couldn't really record it. Yeah.
Oh, you had to actually watch it from 8 to 11?
I fell asleep at about 10:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had to finish watching it by other means.
Well, I'm glad it all worked out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. So we're gonna do early next month our ladies episode where we give awards for our favorite movies of the year.
Oh yeah.
Just not to entirely put you on the spot
For the year of 2022.
For 2022. Yeah. I'll be picking stuff that is not just from Oscar noms.
Yep.
So we're not just going to be like ranking each Oscar category. We're going to just pick stuff that's our favorite, even if it wasn't nominated. So is there anything you want to advocate for?
Yeah. You have to know this answer.
Go ahead.
It's Top Gun 2. That's the best movie of 2022.
That and Minions, save the movies.
That was the best movie of 2021. That was the best movie of 2020. Top Gun 2. That's the movies.
It's been done for like 4 years, right? What a thing to sit on. It's a bet that Tom Cruise made to refuse to let that be released until people could go see it en masse, and it worked out.
Although the perspective I heard on that by the owner of the Dedham Community Theater, he said, I appreciate that because he committed to it being in theaters when they tried to get it released, Netflix, Amazon Prime, etc. He said, nope, I'm committed to this in the theater because as weird as Tom Cruise is, at least I'll give him that. I'll give him credit for that.
Number 1 movie on Memorial Day and number 1 movie on Labor Day.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of crazy.
Nice.
So yeah, if you look at like the year in movies, that's a big part of the story. So it's good that it was nominated for Best Picture.
Right.
It definitely makes it more reflective of the actual year in movies.
And if you think this movie is a little weird, True Lies, with some of the dialogue and some of the off-color comments, right? Top Gun, the brilliance of Top Gun, it has none of that. There's no...
Yeah.
It's a nondescript enemy. Not stereotyping Islamic terrorism, right? None of that. There's
just guys in helmets.
Can't see them.
Can't see them.
No idea who they are.
Nope.
A very family friendly romantic interest and love scene, right?
Right. Yeah, I almost forgot, but yeah, no.
Very relatable. It's an old guy.
They sail a boat together.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing very controversial about that film in the least bit. The most controversial thing is Tom Cruise.
Yeah, man, but those jets really go vroom vroom, and it's pretty awesome.
Right, exactly.
It's great.
That's my nominee.
Yeah, that's one of the few movies I went to see twice in theaters.
Yeah,
because I was like, I want to see this again.
I wish I saw it twice in theaters. That's a good call.
A lot of places do like the best pictures come back into theaters.
Yeah.
So that might be one of them. I know some other ones have. I haven't seen that. I feel like if I had seen that was back, I probably would have gone and saw it again. Because
totally,
hell yeah, it's just what. Yeah, it's the experience. It's why you go to the movies,
right?
To talking about like why you go to an Arnold movie. This is why you go to a movie.
Exactly,
is to get an experience that you can't get at home.
Right.
And anything else? Any performances from other movies you want to call out? I know you watch a lot of movies, but
yeah.
No, I'm trying to think. No big deal, but
well, I mean, I did watch. Living came out in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I only just saw it recently, but that was to me the best single acting performance I might have seen in my life.
I really do want to watch that before we have our ladies conversation because it seems like Bill Nighy is.
Yeah.
He's got some juice. It's not nominated, I think, in too many other categories.
No, right, but it is for best lead.
Yeah, for lead. Yeah. So that's got to count for something.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Well, let's give this movie a rating, and maybe I'll edit that into before the Oscars talk. so it flows a little better. Who knows?
Yeah, that's fine.
Every week when we rate these, I'll put our ratings on Letterboxd at Late to the Movies on Letterboxd. That's the number 2. And you can give it a rating of 0.5 to 5 on any scale of your choosing, just not stars.
I give it 4.8 snow cone makers out of 5.
If you had to go only by halves, would you say it's more a 4.5 or
4.5?
Okay.
Snow cone makers out of 5.
For me, no, that it's actually more. What's one of the other ones he says?
Espresso machine.
Yeah, for me, it's actually more like 4.5 espresso machines out of 5.
Okay, fine.
I'm up there. I really like this one.
Yeah.
I'm just second guessing it. I might go 4. I think I'm going to go 4 espresso machines out of 5.
I'll give it.
I'm grading my 2023 thing is I'm grading harder this year.
You're going to grade a little harder.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got it.
Good for you.
I got it. On Letterboxd, everything I haven't given anything over a 4 yet.
Really?
Only one thing's been a 4. Everything else has been a 3.5 at max.
Wow.
So I'm trying to be a more.
That's tough.
I want it when something's actually a 5. I want it to mean something to me.
I'm going to change it. I'm going to give it 4.5 urinal swirlies out of 5.
Okay. All right. See, but mine was in conversation with yours as like a upping of the bit. So maybe I should think of something else. No, that's okay. I like this one a lot. I almost felt myself saying, go watch it, but then I don't want people to feel like I'm taunting them.
Yeah.
Come to my house and watch it on my DVR.
You'll be able to watch it at some point in the near future.
Supposedly, this and The Abyss are hard to watch right now because, and if you Google, this has been something that you've been able to say for the last few years because James Cameron is working on a 4K master of these to put out on a 4K disc this year. And last year that was true, and the year before that was also true.
We'll get to it.
You can find articles that say all those things. But
where would you rank this film in like Arnold Schwarzenegger films?
I think just for the film or for how it uses Arnold, because I feel like it uses Arnold really well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good
like
point.
It really shows off. We didn't even mention, like, I love when he says, like, no, there's no way the missile can set off the nuke, and then he looks over at Tom Arnold and kind of shrugs.
Right.
It's really funny.
Yeah. Or when Helen asks him, "Have you killed anybody?" Yeah, but they were all bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, Arnold. The way Arnold performances, what would you rank this one?
This has got to be up there.
Yeah.
Top 10 at least. It's below both Terminators, probably.
Oh, sure.
I know he's been in 5 Terminator movies or whatever it is,
but only the first two matter.
Yeah. I said that, and then I was like, well, I mean, he's in other ones too. But
yeah, I'll definitely put it top 5 for me.
I really love Jingle All the Way. If we're talking about,
that is a great film. Yeah,
this is probably a better, more watchable film, but
I think Jingle All the Way is very watchable. But I'll put it up there. I maybe 5, maybe 6. Running Man, the 2 Terminators, Eraser.
You Predator guy?
And Twins. Oh yeah, Predator. Oh shit.
I mean, that's classic Arnold right there.
That's right. So Terminator's tied for 1.
Okay.
It's 1A and 1B.
Both Terminators?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that gets you both. That gets you villain and hero, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Then I would go Predator, then Running Man, then Twins.
Twins is in there.
Then True Lies.
Okay, yeah. So it's being down some heavy hitters then for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good in this movie. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is too. Good performances all around.
The cast just works despite the cringy dialogue.
Yeah. Yeah, the Paxton stuff is a little bit icky, but it happens to be carried off by a really talented guy who is very good at what he's doing.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So yeah.
Yep.
Is what it is. All right. That just about does it. Any final thoughts on this or anything else?
No, nope. No final thoughts. Really, just highly recommend another classic, late to the movies episode.
Yeah, listen to it again. That's what we recommend.
Buy the merch, tpublic.com.
There you go. I don't have to do that one myself. You can find us on
I bought my sweatshirt.
Yeah. I should say just Google late to the movies and my name, and then it'll come up. If you don't Google it with my name, the SEO, it's not quite
not
owed.
optimized.
Yeah, it's not totally owed. Not optimized. Yeah. Late to the movies can be found on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iTunes, Google Podcasts, Podbeans, probably some other stuff too. You can also email Noah at late2themovies@gmail.com. Like Anthony said, our TeePublic, Late to the Movies, has some great merch. I do think I'm going to put up a new design for the ladies 2023. It's going to be tough because I want it to be like whoever wins. But, you know, there's a quick turnaround on that episode.
Yeah.
And a very short period of relevancy for the Oscars.
Right.
So who knows? But whatever. We're not doing this for the glory. We're doing this because we're doing this because a lot of things.
It's a fun
Quite
thing to
often,
do.
the reason we do anything is because I think it's funny for me and maybe only me.
I'm with you.
Yeah, on Instagram, I finally updated the last few posters, so there's some good ones there. You can check it out. Late to the movies _podcast. That just about does it.
Yeah, see you in July for Arnold month.
We'll see. Fingers crossed. Thanks for being on the podcast, Anthony.
Thanks for inviting me back.
Anytime. See you next time.